Hi, my name is Jrej, and today I want to show you the process to do a whole collection using the new CLI from Metaplex called Sugar. The Candy Machine version 2 has deprecated, so this is a new solution to do your Candy Machine, and it's even easier. So let's get into it. You can see I only have images. I have one cover for the collection, and then I have the NFTs. So it is my Titan dogs, my own collection. So I'll do an example with that. Well, sorry about the quality, it's not so good, but this ones are way better. So it's basically dogs in Titans, but you might have seen my previous videos where I talk about it. Anyway, let's go have a look at Sugar. If we go to the Metaplex documentation into tools, Sugar, Candy Machine, then you'll have all the explanation here. And basically what you want to do is go to Windows and then click here to download the W installer. So let's download it in downloads. All right, let's go find it. So this file by default is blocked by the computer. It's not recognized by as an official software. So you need to go to the properties. So right click properties and tick the unbox comment here. So then click apply. And then you're able to launch this. And this will install the Sugar CLI on your computer. And there it is. Easy, right? Then here, let's create a new folder in the desktop. So where we're gonna hold all of our files for our collection. All right, let's do an NFT folder, and inside the NFT folder, let's do an assets folder. Assets. All right. This is the name that Sugar is gonna look into. So it should be named assets. And in assets, let's put all of our images. So the cover for the collection and then the 3 images. In my case, it's probably more for you. Okay. Let's navigate to this folder with the command line. See, in my case, it's in the bureau, OneDrive bureau, but you'll have to check where your desktop is. And then it will be CD NFT. All right. We can see that we have the assets folder here. Before we start, so let's sum up. We're going to do a collection with an Arweave storage, and then I want to do a whitelist token as well. And then I'll do another video with the hidden settings and the update with Metaboss. So let's have a look at the whitelist. For the whitelist, we need to install Solana CLI. So you'll find the Solana CLI here on docs.solana.com. I'll put in the all the links in the description below. And if you go to Windows, I'm on Windows, obviously. If you were in Linux, you would do it differently. And you would open your command line. Actually, I believe we need, in that case, an administrator. So let's open as administrator. And we gotta paste this this command here. This one, we paste it here. All right, so it's downloading the latest release of Solana, and it's putting it is in this output folder in the C drive. All right, and once we've done that, we can do the second command here that is gonna use this install file to install Solana. So let's launch this. It's not going to be very long for me because it's already installed, but yours would probably take a couple minutes. All right, that's all done. So for it to activate, we need to open a new terminal, and then we can verify it's working by typing Solana -- version. And if it gives you a version here, you're good. You do have Solana on your computer. If you don't have a version, something went wrong, and you should probably type in the commands again. All right, since we're there, we're gonna create a new wallet. All right, let's close all that. All right, so it will be Solana dash keygen new dash O, and it's for the output. And then we'll put the usual output. That's the one recommended by the documentation. That is the C users, your username, and then .config / Solana, and then we could do something like keypair.json. And then they ask you for a password. You fill in the password. You shouldn't see anything. It's not going to write anything, but it's writing. And then this is your address here. This part. You can do Solana balance. You'll see that it's 0. Actually, no, it's not 0. This is because it has been set up with my DevNet account. Let's set up this key pair, this new key pair, as the Solana config. So let's do Solana config set key pair, and then let's add this new wallet that it was in these users, my name .config Solana, and then key pair.json. All right, and then we want to make sure that we are on DevNet. For this, so let's do Solana config set -- URL, and let's put the DevNet URL. You can see above that's already been set up, but just for the sake of completion, .solana.com. All right, and then you get this summary of all the configuration. You can get back with Solana config get. And you see that we have the RPC that is the DevNet, and then we have a key pair here that is our JSON key pair. This time, if we do Solana balance, you'd have the balance of 0. And you can actually, and since we're on DevNet, we can airdrop some Sol. So let's do Solana airdrop 1. And obviously on the mainnet, you can't do that, but you would do Solana address and then send some Sol to this address for the candy machine. So you need the funds to do the transactions to the whitelist token. And you also need it for the rental of the candy machine. So you're basically paying a rental fee for the metadata to be on chain, and so this is, you can get it back when you withdraw the candy machine. But we'll calculate that just before we start the process. Let's focus on the whitelist token right away. We have a key pair. Let's import that key pair into our Phantom wallet so we can use the Strata protocol to do a new token. So how do we do that? We go where the key pair was created. So that was in C users username.config Solana, and then you should see that, and that's the key pair here. So if we open it with an editor, if you don't have an editor, I recommend Visual Studio Code that I'm using here. You can find that online easily. That's Visual Studio Code, code.visualstudio.com. And you can download it here if you want. That's going to be useful as well for the metadata update. Anyway, you can find this this private key that is in binary form. So you paste it into the Phantom wallet. So you copy it, you go into the Phantom wallet, and then do add wallet and import private key. And here you paste the content of the JSON in here, and we can call it key pair. So I am on the, let's see, on the key pair, and on network, I am on DevNet. And we do have our one Sol here. So that's important to set up the wallet here, because when you create the token in the website, you need to have this wallet as authority in order to then have control on the token. So let's create a token here. We are on the website of Strata protocol, and you could do launch a token. and then create a new token. Let's accept this, and then make sure we are on the DevNet network. And then create a new token. You can do all kinds of things. I've talked about it in a previous video, but you can also create a token. And what is nice is that you're going to be able to update the token metadata at the creation. So you have an image, you'll have a description, you have a nice token for your whitelist. You can use the self-managed token. Let's do this. We'll do the paw token and choose the photo I've prepared here of a paw. Cool. And then this is the paw token. High five. All right, the symbol, let's do paw. And then here the decimal, so we want it to be an integer, not a float, so we want no decimals. So we can put 0 here. Then the supply, let's do 100. You can put any supply, and you can top it up later. I'll show you the commands to add some more. I want to keep the mint authority and the freeze authority. I want all the authority. All right, and let's create the token. And so it's going to ask for the validation on the wallet. So that's my key pair wallet that I've set up. So a small fee. And there should be a second one. There it is. And there it is with the price of the token creation. Okay, we have this token address. Let's write it down. I'll write it in the notepad somewhere. There it is. Okay, and we can stop here. With Strata, you can then sell it if you like. In our case, we're just happy to have the token. Let's go have a look at it in our wallet. It should be in the NFT, in the collectibles. And so you do have here the paw token with 100 of those, and this is the paw token. All right, looks good. Let's close this. We don't need anymore. We don't need that. And this we don't need either. All right. So we've done the first part of creating a whitelist token for our Candy machine. Let's go back to this command. So we've navigated to the NFT folder that is here, that contains the assets of the collection. One thing that we want to do is make sure that the assets are going from 0 to number of NFTs -1, and then that the collection cover is called collection. This is going to be detected by the Sugar protocol, so it's going to detect the name collection and then NFTs from 1 in an assets folder. So the names should be all correct. What we need to do here is create the metadata for our tokens. So I'm just opening a new page here and then creating a new JSON file. And here's how the metadata should look like. So there's a name, a symbol, a description, then the name of the image, that is in this case the 0, PNG, a couple attributes. So for example, this first one was background orange with the Shiba Inu, and then the main color was gold. It's actually gold for this bot. All right, so that was the first one. And then we need to add a seller fee basis point. That is the commission for the secondary sale. So 500 corresponds to 5%. Where did I find all this? You can find it in the Metaplex documentation. In preparing your assets, you'll find this section here with the metadata. The only thing is that they forgot two things: the seller fee basis point, and then the category image in the properties. So you see it's missing. It's going to do an error if you don't put that in. So make sure you have the same as Metaplex, but adding the category image and the seller fee basis point. All right, and let's save this as 0.json. Okay, let's do that again for the number 2. Titan Dogs collection, it's going to be the number 1. I'm doing that manually, but obviously for a bigger collection, you'd have that generated with the images. And let's see what's open to the side. What's this one? Okay, so that's also Shiba Inu, but a different color. The background this time is a blue one. And then we have a main color that's gold as well. Okay, this is for the second one. So let's save as 1.json. And then that's the number 3. And then that's going to be the 2.png and then 2 as png. And then let's see what's this last NFT. So that's the Chihuahua. Blue background color is actually gold/orange. And here's Chihuahua. All right, number 3, it's the second image, rest is fine. Okay, let's do final one for the collection. We need a new file. And then the collection, they also mention it, I believe, on this collection. So we can pick this one. And it's going to be missing as well the category image. So put it in the properties, right? And it's going to be missing the seller fee as well. So putting that underneath the properties here. Okay, and then let's change that to the Titan Dogs collection. T-Dog. This is the Titan Dogs collection. It is looking for the collection PNG, so that's correct, collection PNG. There's no attributes, and the seller fee basis point is we added. Let's save that as collection.json. Okay, so let's review that. We have the 3 images going from 0 to 2. They all have the correct image inside, 2.png, and then finally the collection.json goes to, it points to collection.png. That is this image of the collection. Okay, I think we're good with the assets. One thing I can mention that if you're doing a hidden settings collection, you might know that from previous my previous videos. It's basically you're doing a reveal in the second time. In that case, you would do only collection here and no assets. And it's only after you do the mint, that the minting phase, that you would reveal the odd for everyone. So yeah, just to keep in mind, I might do videos specifically about hidden settings. But if you're interested in that, that's some information. Now that we've done the assets, I think we can start with the Sugar commands. So we are in the NFT section. We can do Sugar launch. And it's detecting that there is no config file. So I don't know if you remember from the previous Candy Machine, there is a config file that we filled in. We can still use this same config file for this new Candy Machine, but there is a new system here where it's going to generate a config file for us. So we're going to do this system here. Would you like to create a new config file? Let's say yes, by pressing Y. And then they're going to ask you a bunch of questions, and so that would help us generate the config file. And you would create the config file in the NFT folder, so in the root of this folder we've created. So what is the price of the NFT? Let's do 0.1. So we found 3 pair of assets. Is that how many NFT you have in the Candy Machine? That is correct. Found the symbol T-Dog. It is correct. Found the 500 seller fee. That is correct. And then, what is your go live date? I want now. So I can just type now. Otherwise, if I wanted a specific date, you can follow this this pattern for the date. You also have this pattern for the date in the documentation. So config the date here, this format. So dash dash, then T, and then the time, and then Z you can replace by the UTC. So the difference with the Greenwich time. So you could do minus 0.5. Yeah. Anyway, Z is the Greenwich. So let's do now for this specific example. All right, how many creators wallet do you have? I have only one. Enter the creator wallet. So let's go open a new tab, open a new command, and do the Solana address. So I can see my address. That's the one. Okay. Percentage royalty 100. There's only one. Extra features. So we can use the spacebar to get to tick. We want to add a whitelist. And that's it. Maybe we can add an end setting so we can see. And then this SPL token would be if we want people to pay with an SPL token. So that's not the case. What is your Shoal treasury address? So same thing. What is your whitelist token? So this is what we wrote down earlier, our token address that we can write here. If you haven't saved it, you can find it in your wallet with your tokens. So let's go have a look at that. So in case you haven't wrote it, you go back into your wallet, find your whitelist token, and then you can check it on SoulScan. And that's the number that is here. It's not showing on DevNet, but it exists. It is a problem with SoulScan. If I do the Explorer Solana, you'll find it. All right, there it is. So that's the address it gives you in SoulScan. Okay, this one. Do you want the whitelist target to be burned on each mint? Yes, please. Do you want to enable pre-sale?
So at this point of the process, you would ask yourself, what kind of whitelist do I want to do? Is the whitelist to allow a discount for everyone, or is the whitelist token is only an access for the pre-sale, or is it an access for the whole mint? So if I choose pre-sale, in that case, that wouldn't do anything because the launch date is now. So the pre-sale has already been passed. But if I choose pre-sale false, then the whitelist token is applied to the whole minting phase. In that case, let's choose the pre-sale true.
What discount price for the pre-sale? I don't want to set any discount price. What end date do you want to use? I want a date. Let's do the date. And let's do the formats. For example, let's take this example. And then let's do, what is first is the month. So it is going to finish tomorrow. So let's do 23rd. And then 23.59. And I'm at +2. Let's try like that. All right, then the storage. So bundler is our weave that we know and love. So basically it's going to transfer your image to the Arweave network. Then you have AWS, you have NFT storage, that is a free option if you're interested, and the shadow drive. Let's do Arweave. Do you want to retain authority? We do want to retain authority. Do you want NFTs to be mutable? Yes, we want to be able to change them if we wanted to. All right, and then it's going through the validate phase, the upload phase, and then the deploy phase. It does that all in a row because we choose the launch option. And when you do launch, it does all the commands one after the other. If you go to Sugar commands, you'll see actually what everything it does. It does the create config, then it does validate to verify everything's correct. Then it uploads the assets, and then it deploys the candy machine, and finally there's a verify command here. So it does all that with the launch, and if you have an error and it stops along the way, you can actually read the error and fix the problem, but you can also type Sugar launch again, and it would get back to exactly where it was. One thing I didn't mention is that when you do a collection without the hidden settings, you actually pay for the rental. And I didn't show you that, but if you go to the feecalc.live, you can calculate the price that you would pay for the candy machine. For example, here I had 3 NFTs, and if I calculate, there was a rental fee of 0.01, which was very low. But for example, in my collection, I had 1,000 Tyson dogs, and so it cost me 1.67 Sol. That is basically blocked in your account when you're doing the candy machine. And it's blocked for the metadata to be on chain. And then when you finish with the minting, you could do withdraw and then get part of that rental fee back. So that's something to consider before you do your candy machine. Okay, now we've seen the mint, we've seen the commands. Can set that aside, and we can go back to the command line here, and it says that we're successful because we filled in so perfectly everything that we don't have to deal with any errors. If there was some errors, you can go to this Sugar file here. That is actually logs of the process, and you can read the latest one. And it should tell you what's going on. It should tell you if there's something wrong with the format, or maybe the symbol is not the same between your metadata and your config file. There could be some things like that, and it's going to be showing in the sugar.log that is in the folder. Okay, so we can go, there's a new option here. We can go have a look at the candy machine in this address, Solana Eyes. Let's go check what we did. And that's quite nice. You can see the price, you can see everything about it, the NFTs actually, with all the attributes. It's quite a nice tool to have a summary of the candy machine. You can also see some information about the candy machine with a command. So you grab the candy machine ID, and you can do Sugar show, and then the candy machine ID. And it's going to do the same, get some information about the candy machine. Oh, actually, this was the collection ID. So let me just grab the candy machine ID here. Let's do the same, but with the correct one. Show. All right, there it is. So it shows the authority, the supply, the seller fee, and then we have our whitelist, and we should have the end setting. Yes, there it is. And you see that it has created the config file here. So if you're used to config files from the previous candy machine, you can see it's the same. They changed a few things on format with the whitelist. It is now mode and a string. And same thing for the end date. That was a little different before. But with the new tool that generates the config file, it's much easier now to deal with that. Okay, how about we go mint our tokens? There is one option to mint through the command line if you want to go through that. One thing to keep in mind is for each NFT you mint, you pay the fee, and then you pay the token account. That is 0.002. So if you want to do the candy machine and mint everything, it's going to cost you a little bit. We can have a look at the Solana balance, and then we can Solana balance. So you can see it took a little bit just to create the candy machine, probably for the upload. and everything. But if we do sugar mint and then we mint 1, you can do mint number or you can do mint to mint 1. So let's do mint number and let's mint 2. This uses your config, your key pair from the config, and mints straight from your candy machine. If we go in our wallet, if we go to the collectibles, we should have 2 Titan dogs. So it has created the collection. It has used a whitelist token, and then it has minted the 1 NFT. And it should be 2 actually, but probably I have to reload that. But go back here, it should be, there it is, should be 2 whitelist token burn and then 2 NFTs minted. There it is, just like we've set up. Okay, let's do the final thing. That is, we want to actually have a website that people can go to mint on NFTs. So for that, if you go in the Metaplex docs again, everything is in there. You can go to, is it guides? Yes, guides, and then Candy Machine UI. If you go to here, Candy Machine UI in GitHub, you'll find their old Candy Machine UI, the one that was used previously with the Candy Machine. And if you go to the, let's go to the desktop and then do git clone. And then we copy this repo. We have this Candy Machine. Let's open it with VS Code. If we open terminal inside, that's actually terminal and then new terminal. And then here you would do yarn. If you don't have yarn install, you would open a new terminal and do npm install global yarn. So this is to install yarn if you don't have it. So it takes a couple seconds to install the dependencies. It basically goes into the package.json, looks at all the dependencies you need, then installs it in the node modules folder. All right, that's all done. So we can do, we can create the env file. So we would do the copy of the example and then rename it to .env. That's for the environment variables. And here you can verify that you're on DevNet or set it to mainnet. And then you could put in your Candy Machine ID. So let's go grab that. You can find it in the cache file that is just here. That was in our NFT folder as a file that's created once the Candy Machine is deployed. By pressing Shift-Alt-F, you can format it in a nice way. Because otherwise in one line it's hard to read. And you can find in the program area here, you can find the Candy Machine ID. To note here in the items, you can see all the NFTs, and the -1 represents the collection, the NFT of the collection. All right, let's pick the Candy Machine, and then let's put it in the .env file of the Candy Machine UI. And once we've done that, we can type in yarn start to start it as a local on the local host, just to see how it would look like. You can test it out, and once you're ready to actually deploy it, I'll point you out to one of my other videos about that. You can use something like Netlify to deploy your build. For that, you would do yarn build. That would create a build folder here in the repo that you can then upload in your favorite hosting app. Would you like to change the port? Apparently my port 3000 is already used. Let's change it. I don't know by what, but probably have something running. Anyway, it should be 3,000, but I have some other things going, so it'd be 3,001 for this example. All right, there it is. So it asks you to connect. So let's connect this. And you can mint through an interface. Let's try to mint from an account that doesn't have the whitelist token, just to see if that would work. So let's just refresh that, and then we'll connect with this other wallet. That is my DevNet wallet. All right, and I don't have the whitelist token. So if I do mint, let's see what happens. Estimated charge. Even though I change wallet, it would work this time because I have set the whitelist as pre-sale. That means that the whitelist token allows you to mint before the launch date. Because the launch date in my case was now, there has been no phase where the whitelist token was useful, and it was open to everyone afterwards. So I could have set up the pre-sale to be false, and in that case, the whitelist token would have been for the whole minting phase. So we can see that here it burns every time there's a minting token, but the pre-sale is true. Okay, there it is. So we are done with the collection. We have set up Sugar. We have done the collection with 3 NFTs. We've minted through the command line, and then we've minted through the UI. I hope that was interesting for you, that you find all the information you needed. If you have any more questions, you can drop them in the comments below. I'll put in all the links in the description. Before you go, I'll talk to you about my own project, Titan Dogs. You've seen the NFTs. This is actually a developer community. We have a GitHub that is accessible to only holders of the collection. And in that GitHub, we have special tools for the minting on WordPress. We have a raffle system, a converter from private key to key pair, a lot of different tools that could help you in your NFT journey. Another thing is that I'm developing a game in Godot that is a play-to-earn game with the dogs as a character. And that is a tile-based strategy game where everyone's playing together against a computer. I'll be opening up to other collections, so you'll be able to import your NFT character as a pilot in the game. So I think that's very promising, a lot of potential, and I'm continuing the development on that. Thank you very much for watching this video. The subjects of the video are actually voted for by the holders of the collection. So if you own a Titan dog, you can hop on the Discord and vote for your favorite subject from the list. Have fun making NFTs, and I'll see you next week for another topic. See you guys. Have a good weekend. Bye.